So, I've been an Undertale slash Deltarune fan for about a year. That's kinda cool. Got into it around the time Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 released, and here I am after Chapter 5 released. Like, I've been aware of the iconography before, and I attempted Undertale before, but didn't really get too far. It was really through Deltarune I got immersed into the world and such. All of these quirky characters, cool dynamics, and rockin' soundtrack. It was pretty cool playing all 4 chapters at once, even if it did take a while to adjust to the style of gameplay. And then I eventually gave Undertale a try. It's kind of funny being that guy who got into Deltarune before Undertale, because I'd have experiences like seeing the water cooler and not initially giving Undyne to water, because Deltarune conditioned me to think that would be a boss battle. So funny how that worked out there. Also, after a few attempts, I did rage kill a few guys towards the end, like Degay Knights and Mettaton. I'm like, oh, the number's going up. Then Saints and Flowey shame me for doing it, I'm like, oh. And I learned to be better at my playthroughs. It took a bit of adjusting, but I also grew to like Undertale. It's interesting looking at Undertale being a game about choice variety, and this type of storytelling is my jam. I love exploring stories with vastly different realities and outcomes. I've attempted to make this kind of game several times, and here this game was right there this entire time. So anyway, I got so hyped up with Deltarune and Undertale Mania that for a while that was basically my channel. I just had several videos on that stuff, which include several rankers. A lot of them were in the moment, early impression stuff that I had a feeling would get tweaked later on, but it was kind of cool to get them out there. To explain some that I changed, for Deltarune Chapter 1 through 4 ranking, I'd rank 3 way lower, since while I like the concept, it's tedious on replays. I originally had it over 1 and 2, oh my gosh. For top 10 Undertale OSTs, I put Undertale at the top, but I think I like his theme slightly more. Like similar chord progression and like the sort of whimsy it has. I had it grouped with Pacifist Finale OSTs, but I'd bump it up here. For the boss ranking, I put Mad Dummy second to last just above Gross Flowey. At this point, I think I'd significantly bump it up. It sticks out as an early boss that you can't skip, and while it's frustrating when I first tried it when I was new to this kind of gameplay, at this point it's actually pretty fun to do. Also, weirdly enough, the Deltarune slash Undertale video which is gaining most traction is the one where I rank Deltarune bet skips, which I meant as like a silly joke ranking, but I think a lot of people actually have opinions on this. And it's like, yeah, I think I still stand by most of my opinions here. Now that I played through the games more, I respect why more people would use the Chapter 4 bet skip. Like, you miss a lot of story and interactability, but after playing through it a few times, I get why you use skip. Lord knows people would want to use the Chapter 5 one. Anyway, after a bit, my whole Undertale slash Deltarune fixation sort of petered out. Seeped less into videos a bit, but I found other angles. Now quickly, I'd throw something out. Around the time an Undertale YouTuber, known as Shay, was revealed to be a colossally awful person. Lots of bad stuff this dude. And part of the reason I bring this up is I feature him in 2 of my videos. One is Deltarune Bed Skips video, where I just screen capped his playthrough showing how much of a game you missed by doing the bed skip. And also his Delta Traveler video, where he had a pretty sinister line read of "Give me your soul." I mean, neither of these are endorsements. It's just kind of something to think of in hindsight. Also, why did people buy plushies of this guy? His avatar is literally Frogget. There could be copyright infringement. Anyway, the realm of Deltarune slash Undertale fan games became another point of fixation, because it's like, okay, how are other people interpreting this world and characters? Honestly, it's a lot of fun stuff. I did videos on Delta Traveler, which involved Chris, Susie, and Noel, hopping into several games vaguely related to Undertale, doing all sorts of shenanigans. There's Outer Tale, which involved the Undertale characters in space, and ended up exploring more options with a possibility to go even further with Pacifist Run if you could believe it. And Undertale Yellow, which explored new aspects of gameplay and inverted variations of how choices played out. They're all worth checking out and ended up providing different insight. I didn't defeat Sans in Undertale, but I defeated him in Delta Traveler. And the one time I ever completed Genocide Run is Undertale Yellow, where I blast the Asgore, liberating human souls. So while I may have been late getting into games, it might have been a perfect time with these fan games recently coming out, you know? I'll admit with fandom, sometimes stuff could be toxic. I've seen plenty of toxicity with Undertale stuff. I also seen some really good stuff too. Like, people might focus on a cruddy fan art or schlocky fan game, but that often neglects cases where someone pulls off something really good, like a pretty competently made fan game or an Undertale animation that's so spectacular It could honestly be TV show or movie quality. Plenty that surpasses even whatever I could do. A lot of this ended up culminating in me making an Undertale fan animation, The Tale of Undertale, which focuses on Frisk exploring the underground ruins and Snowdin. It acts as a part 1, but with unlikelihood I'd have the second part anytime soon. It stands on its own. This was kind of fun to get into and tested my animation chops. To be frank, I had a lot of animation ideas revolving around Undertale and especially Deltarune. And here it's like, why not retell the story of Undertale? Undertale is like prime for some sort of movie adaptation. Why not I give it a shot with the scrappy resources I had? It was fun experimenting with things. Like, okay, when Fly was introducing himself to Frisk, would he have a little sway to him? I was also very deliberate this was going to be a neutral route. I established he killed one monster and spared another. So not true pacifist, not genocide. Just a neutral which he may restart later to do true pacifist. The rune section is generally told pretty straightforward. I played around a bit showing Toriel took Frisk straight to her house first, then later let Frisk explore a little, interacting with monsters. But just about the same. Where stuff gets more interesting is in the Snowdin section, where I felt there was more wiggle room to change stuff around, and it was a lot more fun voicing Papyrus and Toriel. I also thought of idea, whereas Deltarune featured Sans but no Papyrus. I was going to deliberately show Papyrus doing all this wacky stuff and Sans being notably absent. There's a lot of little details with how things play out, but I think I'll just leave it open for now. Anyway, it was fun to make, and hey, I did 10 minutes worth of Undertale animation. Some point I might do one in old Deltarune if I could get a good Susie voice actress. And honestly, this did kickstart me into doing more animation stuff in general. Like, oh, if I could do this much with Undertale, what more could I do? Some crazy versus thing, some wacky Spider-Man animation, whatever else. It's cool. Thank you, Undertale, for that. Anyway, going all the way to when Deltarune Chapter 5 came out, and I become a much more veteran Undertale / Deltarune fan. It was pretty dang fun. I'd say it was worth the wait. Kind of interesting with all the timing. How the latest chapter included fair bits of Undertale if it's Deltarune, as well as tried whole other things. Oh boy. I'll see from here whatever videos related to Undertale or Deltarune I put out. Doing a current chapter ranking, I'd probably say 3, 1, 2, 4, 5. Even if there's recency bias, I just really like a lot of innovations. It's probably more standalone than the anticipation dug up in 4. And also it has Aqua. Aqua's best Deltarune character. Anyway, plenty awaits. Many possibilities like the Under universe. Hope y'all doing cool. Bless.